Okay, now let's shift gears to a topic that connects Web3 with the real life world in the most meaningful way, regeneration. Now I'm excited to introduce our next speaker, Neil Smith, Chief Regeneration Officer at Grow United. Neil is here to talk about how blockchain can support farmers, improve our food systems, and help regenerate the earth. His session is called Harnessing the Power of Blockchain to Nourish People, Animals, and Plants. And it's must watch for everyone interested in sustainability and real world impact of Web3. Welcome, Neil. I think it's first time you are here presenting with blockchain professionals, and it's very early morning for you. Very welcome on the stage.
Thank you so much. Pleasure to be here. Excellent. I'm really excited today to talk about what we're doing over at Grow and how we're really making an impact in the agriculture community and the community at large. So everyone that eats food. We connect all the way from soil to your plate or soil to shelf, as the expression goes. So today I'm going to walk you through a bit of a presentation to give you an overview of some of the things that we feel are vitally important. Um, in short, though, we really truly are harnessing the power of blockchain to nourish people, animals, and the planet. And this is at the core foundation of everything that we do. So myself, I've been in agriculture most of my life. And one of the things that I have fought against on a regular basis is the fact that there is indiscrepancies in data, that there is a lot of fraud, and whether it's environmental credits or whether that's just traceability information, lack of knowledge, record keeping, all these pieces come into play in terms of things that I believe wholeheartedly that the blockchain can really help solve. So using the latest advances in blockchain technology, Grow has developed an approach to solve some of these industry-wide problems, inefficient processes from start to finish. And really what we were trying to do is flip the script with the food supply chain. So empowering farmers to be the heroes of the story again, and really ensure that they can have different conversations with the supply chain, meaning that the consumer can have more confidence and understanding of what they're eating so we can nourish ourselves more effectively. Nourishing people, animals, and the planet. I'm going to keep reinforcing this because at the end of the day, healthy bodies, healthy minds will enable us to have a healthy environment. We know one of the fundamental issues is that there's about 10 companies that control our food industry. And though they don't set out with any mal intent, this centralized control structure is certainly something that is a constraint or a bottleneck in our food supply chain. And what we're hoping to do with the Grow blockchain is decentralize this centralized structure. So we know that after the World Wars, decentralization was needed, but we've now moved into a tipping point where decentralize and creating more opportunities for farmers and consumers is very much the go-to. And so making the farmers of the hero of the story again comes in a few different ways. We're helping them take all the data points that are on their farm or as a land steward within their ecosystem, and the blockchain enables them to store that data in a very effective way. Of course, all of you that understand the immutability of what the blockchain offers, this is something we classify as data sovereignty. So they own their data, they can store it. It's not going to be scrubbed, tampered with, manipulated in any way. It's going to be the good, bad, ugly, warts and all. It's their data though, and it's on the blockchain. We then can analyze it, applying some of AI's wonderful technology with Web3, Web4, and really create some great reporting mechanisms based on tamper-proof data. So storage, AI, analysis, and then monetization. And with monetization, we really are providing different mechanisms, whether it's environmental credits, whether it's traceability, whether it's just creating some QR codes so consumers have better awareness of the origin of where their food came from, and creating or enabling us to share that story more effectively. These are all the things that are going to continue to propel making the farmers the hero of the story again. Of course, that means that consumers can have more trust in understanding what they're eating and what they're putting in their body. So we work a lot with different practitioners, functional health um, clinicians throughout North America and the world. And what we're doing from field to consumption is vitally important. But the data is going to enable us to have that peace of mind and that ability for us to truly understand the source of our food um, and get to know the farmers in our region. So when we start thinking about the vast distances food travels, we can then start to better understand, what goes into preservation of some of that food. This is chemistry based that we're consuming at some point, and what we could find equivalent within our local communities. And so those local food hubs or resilient food hub structures that are starting to really make a splash. We truly believe that back ending all of that is blockchain, because it allows us to better understand the data and the components that go into continuing to decentralize our economic structures. So the Grow blockchain is a layer one blockchain. It was developed for that single purpose, to really nourish the world, but really flip the script on the conversations we're having from farmer to supply chain to consumer, enabling farmers to really have a larger voice, start dictating some of the pricing, start dictating some of the concerns that are going into how they're raising or growing our food, so they can start to make improvements along the way. And this also means enabling them to harness some of the technologies that blockchain offers. Smart contracts, NFTs being two great examples of this. Built on top of our blockchain are four foundational I'll call them layer twos for the simplicity of it, but applications is another word. So Farm Tracer is an example of that. We're tracing everything from soil to shelf through processing stage. It's a bespoke traceability program, meaning that we really work with the users of the traceability program and understanding the end user points, and whether that's processors, CPG, grocer, whatever that may look like, restaurant, um, and we can tailor this program to ensure that it's got the best outcomes. But up front, it collects a vast amount of data very effectively, stored on chain, aggregated, and then it represents that data in different reporting mechanisms. It's a wonderful tool to start that conversation on how we can flip the script and better understand where our food's coming from. We also built a opportunity for farmers and ranchers, land stewards, to tap in to the environmental credit market space. We really wanted to create our own sandbox, and so we go from soil to buyer in a very effective process, still getting the rigor of the data, the verification, and then minting on our chain. And what that does for the buyer, it represents two great things. One, data is in an immutable spot, so it reduces the due diligence that the buyer has to qualify the data. It also allows, through NFTs, the transaction to take place more effectively. And so setting up the project, supporting the farmer at the field, we do a lot of that at Grow. It's specifically one of the roles that I take on, that project development document, and then working with our partners, MRVs, for the ongoing milestone measure and recording component. We validate or verify that information through an Oracle standpoint, and then it gets minted on chain. It's a great process, really streamlined, and we have the case studies to show that it's working very effectively. Kokima is that regen consultancy that we built on chain. We really love continuing to support farmers, ranchers, land stewards as they transition into more sustainable or regenerative practices for the betterment of the soils, the foods that they're raising or growing, or even just the ecosystem and biodiversity at large. And this is more or less a complementary service, though certainly you can use some DeFi to purchase dollars for hours through our blockchain. But as community members join and they start tapping into some of the other wonderful components, we really want to continue to be additive. And as I mentioned, as we design these systems and we help them implement these systems, every part of that system has a data piece. And so all those data pieces can go onto the chain for storage and for analysis, and then potentially monetization. And when we're thinking about monetization for farmers, it really is diversifying their balance sheet. So we're not saying DeFi or decentralized finance versus a nation's currency. It's 1 + 1 = 3 for us. Diversification, just like you would find in the fields, we need more diversification, less monocropping. We believe the same is true in your balance sheet, and that crypto or decentralized finance opportunities certainly offer that opportunity to expand that market space. Speaking of market spaces, the Nourish Mart, another great foundational application that has been built on the Grow blockchain. This allows you to take your crypto, bring it into our blockchain, and purchase wholesome, nutritious food direct from farms. So it's a direct consumer. We do have a B2B opportunity in there. So if you're an agribusiness that is supplying to farmers and you yourself want to diversify your market space, maybe even your financial portfolio, we're seeing some suppliers come on and provide nature-based solutions for farmers to purchase with or grow tokens. But for the general public or for those that aren't part of the ecosystem already, this is a spot I highly encourage you to go to. You can use your crypto. You can purchase terrific goods and services off the Nourish Mart that continue to support farmers, ranchers, and suppliers in a meaningful way. And so those foundational apps really allowed us to gain some terrific traction globally in how we are utilizing blockchain effectively. We're harnessing the power of blockchain. And so you notice I don't talk a lot about the Grow token. We do have a native token within our blockchain, but that's almost tertiary in our drive to really ensure that we're using data-driven processes vis-a-vis the blockchain to effectively communicate and change the conversations that are having from field to consumer to buyer and all the way through that value supply chain. So Farm Tracer, if you are watching this, you can actually scan this QR code. It will take you to a website, and you can actually see some of the attributes for how this traceability program works. One of the great use cases of it, there's a little sports arena in Western USA that was purchased and renamed the Climate Pledge Arena. Now, the Climate Pledge Arena has a mandate to bring in sustainable or regenerative food and beverage. And one of the things they struggled with was finding a supplier to provide regenerative meat. Well, we had a farmer in the area. It's one of our larger production farms that works with our Grow blockchain all the way through his operations. They were able to demonstrate via the use of Farm Tracer that they were growing very wholesome and regenerative meat that was nutritious and met the qualifications of the chief chef at the Climate Pledge Arena. And so with our program, Farm Tracer, we are able to bring buyer and farmer to the table and secure a multi-year contract that really ensured that good food was going to get to the consumer. And so if you're at the Climate Pledge Arena, you can scan a QR code and you can actually see the origin of where your meat came from and why it is nutritious. And it's certainly fulfilling the requirements of the Climate Pledge Arena. The Nourish market space, as I mentioned, the nourishmart.com is the Nourish market space. And I highly recommend you going on there. This is really a great opportunity for farmers to find a secondary or even tertiary market if they've already got contracted meat or grains going out to the supply chain as normal. Again, 1 + 1 = 3. The power of blockchain decentralization means that we're not pointing fingers at anything that's there currently. We're simply offering a shakeup to the system, and we're starting to look at the decentralization, meaning that it is complementary or coming alongside what's currently there, providing more resilience in the farm operations portfolio, balance sheet, and of course, market space capabilities. So the Nourish Mart becomes a secondary or tertiary market for a lot of medium to large farms and or primary for smallholders. So highly encourage you to go continue to check out the Nourish Mart. Grow is working globally already. So as a blockchain, really making a difference, making an impact. We're working in all these countries. On the left-hand side, we're starting to gained some inroads on the countries on the right-hand side there. We're also working in some territories, like Puerto Rico is a territory of the US that we're engaged in. And so if you know farmers or you have farmers and you're interested in how we can better support those farmers or potentially landowners that are looking to do something more sustainable, steward the land effectively, the Grow blockchain is something that I'd highly recommend you check out. Grow United, just as an SFYI, is the custodian to the Grow blockchain. The Grow blockchain is governed by the community, and they've elected us to continue to steward the blockchain in an effective way, really making sure that we make inroads and effectively continue to bring these foundational apps, as well as finding on-ramps for anyone else that wants to build on our chain, so we continue to service our mission, nourishing the world in a more effective way. One of the things I would like to tell you about Kohima. So we hear a lot about soil data, soil health, soil functionality. Somebody that's grown up in agriculture and really believes in what agriculture can do to continue to propel the world in an effective way. We all eat food. We all want to live in an environment where there's biodiversity and there's trees and there's landscapes for us to visit and explore and live in. We need to ensure that our soils continue to repair themselves, rehabilitate, and then regenerate. And they have a capability far beyond our knowledge base. And we can start tracking all that data through wonderful near to real-time sensors, through the exploration of utilization of AI for analysis. And so if you or anyone that you're thinking of is dealing with a soil-related question, soil-related project, soil-related initiative, I highly recommend, again, reaching out to the Grow blockchain. Our Kohima team is got depth and experience in how to take that data and truncate it down to manageable sizes, put it on the blockchain, and allow us to explore the deltas, the gaps, the positives, so that in a open source mind state, we can start to understand bioregionally what's happening with the soils. And so one of the powers and one of the tools that I talk to a lot of landowners, farmers, ranchers about is this ability to open source your data without losing control of your data. And so the data won't get used against the farmer. The data won't be manipulated and meant to be rewritten. So, there's less margin for the farmer. This is simply about sharing data for the sake of truly understanding what's happening at the soil roots within a bioregion. So all farmers can collaboratively talk about the issues, the things that are going well, the opportunities we have to continue to improve our ecosystems. And so thinking about decentralization, we also think about that tool of open source in a way where there's trust and transparency with the data that's being utilized. So I highly encourage anyone that's dealing with a soil related or potentially ecosystem related project to engage with the Grow blockchain and help us create that open source mentality, and so we can better understand what's happening in all these wonderful bioregions around the world, particularly those that are growing or raising food that we want to consume. The more we know, the better we understand, the more consumer confidence we build, and the more we make farmers and ranchers the hero of the story again. NFTs, Grow is soon going to have an NFT market, and whether it's environmental credits or NFTs attached to RWA, so real world assets, such as cows, where we have these programs that are going to be launching fairly soon. So stay tuned for that. It's a great opportunity to get involved, provide some funding for farmers and ranchers in terms of the cattle, get a digital asset. At the end of term or as a burn of the NFT, you can receive a box of meat, or you can repurpose that NFT as you continue to think about the digital play that happens with NFTs. But these are great opportunities to continue to harness some of the tool sets that come along with the Grow blockchain. We also are bringing out a learn to earn model within our blockchain. And so both for farmers, ranchers, and land stewards, they're going to start to be rewarded to take on new practices and learn about what they can do more effectively. From the consumer, you can better understand some of these applications and what the blockchain can do for you, both financially and opportunistically, in terms of how to access good quality food and continue to support those that are stewarding our lands. So be on the lookout for some of that learn to earn programming as we start launching that later this year as well. Now, as a blockchain, I would also like to say that our Grow token, we don't uh, place much effort in talking about the growth of that token or what that can do. I highly encourage you, for those of you that are part of the Web3 space, do your homework. But we are utilizing the Grow token within our ecosystem currently. We do bridge in for those that have crypto. You can do swaps. We have our own or self-custodial wallet, so you can swap in ERC20 or Bitcoin, and grab some Grow tokens, and then utilize that in the Nourish Mart if you so wish. If you are interested, I highly recommend grabbing a Grow wallet, setting it up. It's free to set up, and start exploring our self-custodial wallet and what that looks like. It's another step towards engaging with some of the wonderful farms and ranches within our ecosystem already, and food manufacturers. One of the other things that I will mention is that Grow is not a proponent of being centralized. We don't need to own everything. We do very much talk about interoperability. If there's chains out there that are doing some wonderful things in our food and supply chain, we'd love to engage with you and talk about that interchain operability. If there are chains that are adjacent to the food and agriculture but provide value in some way, we would love to talk to you, because we believe in this decentralized mindset of interchain operability. The more we start collaborating, and certainly from my perspective, a Neil perspective, I believe a lot in that network state capability. And so as we move towards this, I know there's probably some people on the line here that are involved in different chains, doing wonderful things, different projects. Let's have a chat and talk about how Grow can align or fit or complement with projects that you're working on. So the Grow blockchain, nourishing the world, people, animals, and planet more effectively by ensuring that we have more trust and transparency in the data that helps us qualify the foods that we are growing or raising on our land, and ensuring that we are truly understanding how we can move our land to more sustainable or regenerative states, so that we can continue to live in this wonderful place we call Earth. I really thank you for your time today. It's been a pleasure to speak to everyone. I know I don't get to see everyone that's online watching. You can find me at neil@growunited.com, or you could go to our website and hit contact us, and somebody from our team will reach out to you. Our website is growunited.com, growunited.com, and it's neil@growunited.com. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Neil. Yes, everyone, go visit growunited.com. And thank you so much, Neil, for that inspiring session. It's incredible, truly, to see how blockchain can play a role in regenerating our planet and supporting the farmers on ground. And for everyone, again, I think it was very insightful. Please, we have brown bag sessions on monthly basis at Blockchain Professionals, so we would really love to see you there, talking about this topic one more time. If we could collaborate on anything, please use our network at Blockchain Professionals. We are 3,500 people. And again, it was a pleasure to have you here with us. Stay with us, and thank you, Neil. More powerful talks are coming up.